Hey, thanks for checking out the video on section 12-2. 12-2 is plotting and naming points on a number line with decimals and fractions. So, a couple quick reminders from yesterday. First, the first spot after a decimal point is called the 10th spot. The second spot after the decimal point is called the hundredths spot. So you'll see up front I have my number line. And my number line has a mixture of both tenths, where I have one digit after the decimal point, and hundredths, where I have two digits after the decimal point. What we're going to do today is plot some points on the number line according to what the tenths or hundredths tells us. Now, one quick tip. My number line starts at 2 5/10, and it continues through 2 75 hundredths. The arrows here tell me that I have numbers that go before 2 5/10, and this arrow tells me I have numbers that will come after 2 75 hundredths. This is just a zoomed in view of a number line. So, since my number line has both a mixture of tenths and hundredths, I want to convert them all to the hundredths, because that'll make it a lot easier to label my number line. So here I have 2 5/10. Remember, 5/10 can also be written as a fraction like this. I want to change this into hundredths. So 10 times what number is going to give me 100? It's going to be 10 times 10. We'll break it into 100. What I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator. 5 times 10. Okay. So 5/10 is actually equivalent to 50 100ths. So what I can do is actually put a 0 there to help me label my number line. Same thing with 6/10 here. 6/10 equals 60 100ths. So I can put a 0 here. Same thing with 7/10. 7/10 equals 70 100ths. So I can put a 0 here. And what that does is help me just continue my number line using hundredths. So 2 50 hundredths, skipped a few spots, 2 53 hundredths, 2 57 hundredths, 2 60 hundredths. It's a little bit easier to see visually if they're all converted into hundredths rather than a mix of tenths and hundredths. Now the easy part. Point A would be considered at 2 52 hundredths. I got that because here's 2 50. Here's 2 51 hundredths. I stopped at 2 52 hundredths. The next number would sequentially be 2 53 hundredths. Easy enough. Point C here is at 2 and either 6/10, you could say, or 2 60 hundredths. Since these fractions are equivalent, you could say either number. And point D, if I continue on my number line, would be labeled at 2 65 hundredths. Here's 2 62 hundredths, 2 63 hundredths, 2 64 hundredths, 2 65 hundredths. It's that simple if you just do your jumps. What I'm going to do here is plot 3 points onto my number line, and you'll notice that my points are written as fractions. All I have to do is change my fractions into decimals to plot them on my number line. So point D, I have 2 58 hundredths. I need to find the spot 2 58 hundredths on my number line. Well, here's 2 53 hundredths, so I know it's greater than that. 2 57 hundredths, so I know it's 1 greater than that. Point D would actually go right here. Point E is at 2 7/10. Now, remember, I converted all of my tenths into hundredths. So I want to do that here, too. So 7/10 equals blank 100ths. To go from 10 to 100, I multiply by 10. What I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator. Oh, okay. So point E needs to go at 2 and 70 100ths. Right here. And then finally, point F goes at 2 and 72 hundredths. Well, here's 2 and 70 hundredths. If I just count 2 more spots, that will get me to 2 and 72 hundredths. Remember, the trickiest part about this lesson is when you have a number line that's mixed with tenths and hundredths. A good tip would be to convert your tenths into hundredths. By doing that, you can write it as a fraction. 5 tenths, written as a fraction here, converts into 50 hundredths. Same thing here. 6 tenths converts into 60 hundredths. And finally, 7 tenths converts into 70 hundredths. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow.